Another video of my progress. So I got the rear tail lights all mounted, wired in. This little rat nest of wires will be all cleaned up. I had to put in one of those load resistors because the tail lights are LED. It's not enough load on the circuit for the flasher. You could probably also change the flasher, but either way, I did it this way. So it's a resistor, connects across the positive and negative. And you can see there's another one here. I might have to put two up front also, they're pretty cheap. But they'll get like over 250 degrees, so you have to mount them with steel. It's really hot. Put the rear camera on there, and the logo. And then did some work down here. Put the mesh, sprayed the exhaust pipe, header wrap, put it, it was blue before, kind of silly. Put another piece of reflective heat back there because that's the rear of the transaxle transmission, and I don't know how hot that's going to get back there. But also this reflective material I put down there, it's sticky back, can handle up to 2,000 degrees, but reading the fine print, the glue adhesive on the back of that can only withstand 300. Kind of silly. So I guess we'll see. But I just don't want to get that diffuser. It's fiberglass to get it too hot. And then I put this mesh in there. I don't know if I like the mesh, but you know, I think for now I can live with it. It really stands out when a car's way up in there, but when you drop it down, it's not as noticeable. So the rear camera is wired in. There's an RCA cable that goes all the way to the front to the stereo. When I install the stereo, I have it already. And then also, it's off I connected it to a hot wire on the rear backup lights. So when you put the car in reverse, it powers that camera, and then it'll send a signal to the stereo on the display up there that I'll have for backup, because these cars are really hard to see out. So the rest of the tail light, there's that triangle or piece there. It's going to be all white reflector, maybe a little piece of orange, but I have to think about it a little bit more. But the reverse light's going to be in there. And then a clear piece of plastic that I got to make and put over top of that whole lens area. Like I said, the side marker light's also mounted. Amazed, fit in there perfect. Imagine that. Hey, so the grill, got the grill on this one side done. And then I did headliner. It's kind of hard to tell. It's black. Trust me, it looks good. And then the weather stripping around here seals a lot better than the Diablo I made. I always had big seams, or you could see light through there. What I usually do when I put on this weather stripping around the roofs and the door is I put a little light, flashlight inside the car, and then turn off the light in the garage, and then that'll help me see if it's sealed. Also did the fat mat on the passenger side so far. It's not pretty, but it's just the heat and the sound deadening. Yeah, the stock car Porsche Boxster didn't have it, but I had a roll of it extra, and why not? It can't hurt anything. Then the carpet's going to go on top of this. So I need to finish the back of this back here. This was left over from the first car I did. So front, my marker, working on the headlights. What do they call those? Eyes on the, I forget what they call those. The lights are on it. It has parking light. That's going to be the orange parking light there, and I'm going to put another one. They're going to go inside here. It's LED for the turn signal. A lot of wiring. But I could not find the connectors that would plug into these Camaro side marker lights. So what I did is I put two wires in there in the connector and soldered them, and then put RTV, you know, rubber RTV on there so the wires won't get loose or anything, and it's sealed perfect. I guess I could find them, but they're ridiculous. $20 some a piece for them little connectors. What else? So if you could try the flashes, I can kind of show you how they work. There's a switch on each tail light where you can have it so it doesn't do that. That's like the Camaros do that, right? You can see it's still a little bit fast. So I still think I should install 2 more of those load resistors on the front to slow that down. But it looks good so far. You can see my big pile of carpet and all that. Put it back in the car. There's the rear spoiler. All nice with the black paint that's going to get covered up with carbon fiber vinyl. There's a big piece of Duraplex. I don't know the difference of plexiglass or... But anyway, I'm going to cut that. It's got a white protective coating on it. That's why it looks white, but it's clear and it's thin. Those are going to be for the tail lights. So what else? There's a turn signal just temporarily down there. You can see I got regular bulbs in the front and LED in the back. So it's going to be... That was just to test my wiring. And there's so many wires for these headlights. It's kind of interesting the way they work. They get really hot. You can see the hole. I need to fix the hole up there. It's way too big. I can do that with fiberglass, and then it's going to be gloss black paint around there. It'll look good. Should have fit a little better before I got it painted, but hey, never too late. So there's a circuit inside that headlight on each of them. It's like a little shutter. So when you turn on the high beams, it activates this little shutter that lifts up out of the way, and then the lights are really a lot brighter. So in just regular headlights on, there's a little piece of steel that goes down over the top of the headlight bulb, so it's not as bright. It's kind of cool. So I can turn the headlights on here. Trying this. So there's the headlights on. It's kind of hard. I mean, I guess you can see that straight point across there, but there's little things in the way, kind of thrown off. So that's high beams. And you can hear that little shutter circuit. That's the difference. They're really bright, which is kind of cool. One bulb for high and low beam. Really neat. I think some other brands might do 2 bulbs. But yeah, I gotta be careful with what I have behind it, because it's going to be really hot. There's a turn signal. These connected up inside there. At least you guys can see a little bit better. This camera has a light on it. But all these wires and these little box here for the headlights, another box for the angel eyes. I think that's what it's called, the thing around the headlights. So angel eyes. And so the angel eyes is just parking light. I was thinking of putting some lights down here in the grill, but we'll see. It has the wires for the front fog lights. I don't remember from the original Boxster headlights what the fog lights look like in the front. But there's going to be a grill there. I might hide a light behind there, some kind of LED strip, but you know, I don't want it to look all Mickey Mouse either, so I'll see. Both the sides was painted black. You can see it's a lot darker now. Flat black paint. It was red like the car before. But the rear, you know, since German Porsche, right, they have the rear fog lights. It's usually like a really bright bulb built into the housing, the rear tail light housing for obviously fog and all that. The cars in England have it too. I don't know if all of them in Europe have it, but I know German and British cars have it. So I have those that wires hooked up and that, but I don't know if I'm going to hook it up to anything. I might use it for some LED lights to put in the grills if I go to some car shows or something. I can just turn them on, or some light graphic light things underneath it for some car shows. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm a long way before going to any car shows. Yeah, I really like the fit on the roofs. Really surprised. Oh, it really dusty in here. So these strings here, plumb bob, what you want to call it, I'm trying to get the measurement down for the wheels. You can see how far it's got to come out. Probably 2 to 3 inches on the rear, and then the front was like 4 inches from what I measured it. So it's really concave wheels. I really don't want to do the wheel spacers. I know a lot of people do that, but I'd rather just get them made right, concave, and then they might have to make the hub thicker than the stock Porsche wheels, right? And then I think I'll just take these 4 wheels and sell them online. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. The tires are actually even good on them. So we'll see. But for people to make wheels now, it's like 4 to 6 weeks. These things like take an awful long time, but big business, right? Yeah, I gotta do the work for the bought the regulator for the rear window, and there's a steel bar going across there. You know, it's way too long, but I'm gonna use that to tie into the window regulator and not welding up anything on it. I'm just gonna bolt everything, because the window regulator is gonna drop, you know, be down like 2 feet below this window. So I want to make sure that I can easily remove it, because it's probably going to block some of that. The front of the engine cover that has to come off sometimes. Hopefully not much. Better run good. But yep, that's going to be some little bit of fabrication there. And then this whole thing's going to have a panel all over. You're not going to see all this all closed off. There's the tie into the seat belt, one seat belt. And I was looking the other day to find the other one, and not sure where that's at. It's like 2 or 3 bolts. I think I could probably put the carpet in the passenger side, and then maybe, we'll see. I might throw the carpet in, or maybe I should wait until I do this regulator crown. But I gotta fix a lot of this inside the car. It looks terrible with the special board that people use for the carpet and carpet interiors, and that's real thin, like almost like pressed cardboard. I'm trying to find out where to buy that. If you can buy it local at some hardware store, and then make a bunch of panels, and then cover all those panels with the leather, or probably pleather, because I don't care as long as it's the same color. Well, I don't care if it's leather or the fake leather. Cleaned up this, took the windshield wiper motor out of there, and secured a lot of the wires that are not needed, and put those labels on them. Hopefully I'll never need to look at them again. The bad thing about those bad thing about that tape labeling it, over time you can't read it anymore, so it's kind of useless. So it looks pretty bad, but it's going to all be covered. The other thing is, I said in another video that this thing is a horn. I had to relocate. It's not a horn. It's the alarm speaker, or alarm horn. So you can see I connected new wires to it, and I'm going to mount it down in the fender well or down in the front engine compartment. I haven't decided yet, but that's going to be. I need to heat shrink those connectors. Kind of cool. Build in heat shrink, and you just crimp them under and then heat it up. And then I'm going to cover it with, you know, that split wire loom to cover up all the wire. So then that should be good. I know my other videos you could never really see in here because it's dark, so maybe now we can see better. So it's a huge battery. Remember, if I said in another video, the battery used to be right here under the windshield now, right? Not before the under the box. So I moved it down in here. The spare donut still in here, the stereo amplifier. But the real Aventador, they put the 2 roofs in there. It would have been nice to put them in there, but there's no way. And I thought about moving this to the rear of the car too, but I don't think I want to do that. I think there's enough weight back there, leave us up front. I kind of want to get one of those battery cases like they have on boats and things. It covers up the battery, and then don't have to worry about if I throw things in here. Shorten across there, whatever I throw in there. This thing's like a battery tender. Kind of cool. Because you can see with all the lights on all the time and all the wiring and me blowing fuses, wearing down the battery while I'm trial and error in this. So this needs all painted black. It looked a lot better before, but the body shop with all the dusting on that kind of made it look bad. So I just need to fix all this up. There's a weather stripping I'm probably going to use here. It was all kinked up where I bought it on eBay, and hopefully those kinks are going to come out over time. It's been a couple days. Came out a little bit, but jeez, why aren't they rolled up? I don't know why they had it folded up in the package. The other thing is I have the inner wheel wells have that. So that'll probably be the last thing before I get all the wiring done in there. This bracket for the headlight, I need to cut that off. It looks pretty bad. And then probably paint it because it's going to rust. Just bare steel. I guess the next thing I want to work on is clean up around the headlights, make it fit a little bit tighter. Not too tight though. Need to have a little bit of air because it gets too hot. So do that. Do the grill on this side. And probably could do the grills in the front. And then what I need to do is there's an AC line that runs. You see the aluminum tape I put on there? Runs from there over to this side, up inside there. And I think it needs extended now because I don't know. It's the same. It should be the same length. I don't know if it's going to interfere with anything. I should try to put it back on there, right? I didn't move these, but we'll see. I have it in a box of parts. It's like a junkyard in here. Can't wait to get all this stuff back on the car. But if not, if that ain't going to work, then I'll find a place that can make it a little bit longer if I need to. You know, there's going to be a splitter on the front of the car here, so that's another thing I need to do. And then clean all this up. It needs all sprayed, you know, gloss black to look better, but the splitter spoiler is going to go right across there, and it's really strange the way it's mounted on the car, the regular car. I don't know if I got a picture of any of them, but yep. I think it looks pretty good so far. Oh, the other thing I got to do is install the parking sensors. And the body shop, they're black now. I asked them to paint them to match the car. They forgot. So I got a touch of paint, but I sure hope it. It's funny because the package says don't paint them. I can't have them black on the car, and they ain't going to sell every color car. But you know, every car that they sell, they're always the color of the car. Like this car is an example. So I think the black will look pretty bad. And I'll have to drill the holes out a little bit. Same with the backup camera one. That it was kind of cool to mount, so it's facing up because the car's so low. So it had an angled, like a spacer angle. You could have it go left, right, down, up, and so it shouldn't be facing towards the ground. We'll see how wide angle the picture is. But yeah, drill them out a little bit. The paint filled up the holes on those backup camera or parking sensor holes, so they don't fit in there now. I think that's it for now.